Explorers, welcome back to the Starfield Lorecast. We've got some guests on our ship today. We've got me, Tom, and Dave, along with some of our patrons, because it's another patron chat. It's the end of November already. Dave, welcome back to the show. Doing well? Eat too much turkey?
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. You know, that intro used to be a lot longer. There used to be like a lot of depth there. I'm glad we shortened it. Things that need to be shortened, it was the odyssey of space that we were trying to, I think, fill time. So I'm glad we get the less than 60-second version.
Yeah, quick version. We're eating too much turkey because we just had Thanksgiving, and we've got some patrons here. We have joining us again. Get ready to unmute yourself so you can say hi to you. We've got Turbo Toboggan. We're gonna start with Turbo this time. Turbo, what's up, man? How's it going? Welcome back.
Nothing much. I never leave. I live in the walls of the ship. I just listen to you guys talk.
You're like a constant. You just revealed that you have stowed away on our ship for all this time. You've just been like,
it's very cold.
Have you been watching us?
No, just listening. I can't see through the hull.
Oh, man.
It's not like an airplane. If an airplane, I can check through the holes, but spaceship's more airtight, so I'm just stuck in between the seals.
That's super weird. Well, I'm glad you could make it to the show, but it sounds like you were already here. So cool. We've
always listening.
Always listening. We also have Nova. Nova's joining us again. Nova is busy at work, but making time to join the show. So thank you, Nova. Welcome.
Yeah. Hello. It's always a pleasure to be here. Yeah. Sorry, I was able to do this for Thanksgiving, so I have to do it after Thanksgiving, and
catching up.
I have far too much to do, so I have to juggle many different balls at the same time. But
multitask.
I'll still be here.
Yeah, but it probably makes work more fun when you get to hang out and talk about Starfield. So, you know.
Oh yeah, it makes it go a lot quicker. Yes, it does.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Awesome. Well, welcome back, and then also Commander Marcus Shepard is here. Commander Shepard, it's an honor to have you here, sir. I'm a fan of all of your accomplishments in the galaxy, in the Mass Effect universe.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I managed to take some shore leave to make it to this session for the patron chat. So
awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here, and thank you everybody for joining us. And this week we are discussing some of the characters in Starfield, specifically constellation characters. These are characters that some of them can be companions, some of them hang out in the lodge, and we're going to get different perspectives on which companions people took with them, who anybody fell in love with, who might have died. I want to hear your stories and about how all of this works. Turbo, you said you wanted to kick us off in the pre-show. Which of the companions did you spend the most time with?
As we said last time, how I play my game, right now, the characters I've spent the most time with. So the first one was Sarah, because I was just exploring everywhere with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Barrett.
Yeah.
Barrett. Okay. I'm like, got confused. And then now I've finally finished his, and I'm on Sam Cole now.
Oh, so you've been like methodically going through each of them, like spend time, spend some time with Sarah, spend some time with Barrett, spend some time with Sam. So of those three, who's your favorite so far?
I'm gonna have to say Barrett, because he's just so happy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that like walks in a room and just wants to like. I mean, I feel like he's the kind of person who would give it finger guns, but like gets away with it. You know? Yeah.
And it's like he's like, and sometimes when he's talking to me, the background, I was like, "Hey, you want to tell me how you did? How you doing? What you doing?" But I'm like, he's not talking about the mission. He just wants to know how I'm doing. He's on my ship now. And it just be in the background. It's like, why don't you sit down and talk for a second? Friend, what we talk about? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So have you romanced anybody? Have you gone down there?
Not yet. Because I just haven't felt like any of them. And stuff. There's someone I want to talk about with romancing with one of the companions. I want to know if anyone's romanced Sam Cole, because the way he's talking to me, he always brings up his ex-wife, the mother of his daughter. Yep. Every conversation she's brought up, and I'm like, I was gonna romance you, but literally the first time we talked, and we actually had the deep talk, not him just talking in the background, or me asking him about himself. He brings up his wife, and then it's almost every story that I've been doing for his story missions, it's like, she was just so amazing. She changed my life, and I'm like, do you need help getting back together with her? Is that where we're going to end up going? But it's just like,
so he's kind of a bummer in that perspective. Like if you wanted to romance him, but he still feels like he's so hung up on somebody, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like I just didn't know if I did something like, I'm like, it's like I wanted to romance the space cowboy, but it's like I don't want to step in if you still love her. Like I want to like help you out. It's like
dude's got some baggage. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
But he was when I was in it. So now I'm just gonna I'm gonna have to go back, which would feel awkward to the other characters because they the way they talk, especially Sarah. Like at least to me, her speaking seemed like she really wanted a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can pick certain conversation things that definitely move it in that direction. So
yeah, I never flirted with any of them, but I was just so nice and friendly with them. By the end of it, all of them, I now have the option to just go talk to them and say, "Hey, do you want to go get to?" It's like randomly I can just go to them and say, "You know how I didn't get together? Can we get together now? It didn't work out with him, but can we get together now?" So,
sorry, I've been kind of hard to get, but now are you ready? That always works. People love that. I got no other
options, but let's go do this real quick. So it's like so I'm most likely gonna have to set my sights on I can never say her name right. It's the A one.
Andreja. They say ja. They say the ja.
Andreja.
Yeah, most people in the game pronounce the ja. Andreja. But it does look like one of those names where the J might be an H sound, but most people
that's
say
why
the J.
I haven't taken her on my ship. I just haven't talked to her and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you change the outfits of any of your companions?
Oh yeah. Did you?
I gave a bear the most swanky suit, so when he's coming in all happy.
So he looks like the badass in an awesome suit. He's like a jolly but like cool dude.
The business suit, he just comes in all happy and especially when he pulls out especially like you said the fingernails, but especially when he's being like he's
charming,
being Barrett,
charming,
charming and swanky. You just think he's a little businessman just going out on adventures.
Okay.
Especially when he pulls out the big pistol I gave him, just goes, "I'm gonna need you to stop now." Get into a firefight.
Uh-huh.
Give him the big chunky mercenary space suit, which was really fun when you go on that one spaceship. I forget which one it was, but the power keeps the life support turns on and off, and he's just popping out a big spanky outfit, like swanky outfit, to mercenary spacesuit that's big and bulky, just switching back and forth. It's just picturing my head, him nonchalantly going, "Oh shoot!" Pops on getting into it real quick, and then nope, gotta be swanky, pulling it off real quick.
Right. Oh, don't need the suit now.
Right now, he is my favorite companion, just for the moments that happen with him, which is with his attitude and the outfit I put on, just my own headcanon of being with him.
Yeah,
has worked out.
Yeah,
and I like that he's turned into like your 60s, 70s James Bond character. Like that's like I'm in a suit now. I'm in a space suit now. I have a jetpack. Just kind of action figure style.
Right now, I'm driving a BMW.
He's my action man.
He's your action man. All right. Does anybody else have questions for Turbo on any of this? Feel free to chime in. Dave, do you have any questions?
So you said that you spent a lot of time with Sarah. Is that just because like that's who you get at the beginning, kind of, and they just stick with you?
It was because I was stuck with her because I didn't go after that first art, the first thing. I went around doing side missions, just popped up, and I couldn't get rid of her.
Right.
And I ended up bonding with her after that and stuff. And she's probably my second favorite character. Well, no, Sam Cole is my second favorite character, but now that his romance and stuff. He's kind of became my third, but with Sarah's like I liked how because I can be with someone who just wants that's not had any friends and stuff like that. Just I got with her a little bit, but yeah, she was with mine first because I was actually stuck with her. I was forced with her at first, and then after that, I got to know her character, and it's like I don't mind being stuck with you.
Okay, you're better than I thought you were.
That still comes out wrong. It's like I don't mind companions. I was gonna do it like you can be on my ship, but I'm not gonna have any companions. But then she
forced herself on you.
Firefights, being low level.
She proved herself. You were like, I don't need a companion. She's like, I'm coming with you anyway. And then you were like, oh, I guess you are useful.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, you're really helping me out so much, especially when I run into my first Terramorph and stuff. And she's like, she saved my life because I was just like, I literally like one of those random when they spawn points where they're fighting spacers, I think it was, and I would just run around. And I came over a ridge, and then because I was hearing gunfire, and I was like, I thought it was like the two civilians, like the brother and sister that you need to get medicine, come over a hill, and I just have a Terramorph coming right from my face. And I was a little pansy. I just started backpacking around. Sarah took that guy out.
Okay.
I would not, because my weapons were doing nothing to it. It was whittling away. And Sarah, just because of having unlimited ammo, I didn't have unlimited ammo back then, which just killed the thing for me. I was running away, barely had any health at the end of it because I ran out of health packs. She saved my life. If this is canon, she saved the Starborn.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, it sounds like she's a badass in your playthrough.
And I don't know how it's going to work out with Aja, because when I first met her, she was fighting Varun, and my background story is Varun, so I don't know how that's going to work.
Andrasia? Yeah.
I'm gonna get her name wrong all the time.
Well, I won't reveal anything too much about that yet.
I've never mispronounced anything relating to this game whatsoever, so I'm just happy to.
We've had comments on some of our videos or whatever where people are like, "Well, clearly these guys are not pros. They can't even pronounce the names right, or they don't even remember the names of this." And it's like, okay, come on. All right. Like sometimes you just don't remember something right on the spur of the moment, but. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, interesting. I love how your perspectives and your playthrough is so different from everybody else's, and that makes your playthrough so specific to you, Turbo. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. We got to move on to somebody else. Who wants to go next, Nova or Commander Shepard here? Nova, do you want to go?
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah. So, what's your experience so far with your companions?
My experience so far has mostly been limited to Samco. I have taken Barrett just a little bit, and same as Sarah, but it's been almost universally with Samco, though, exploring the galaxy with him. And it's been, quite interesting. I've gotten to that point where he has complete, total trust in me, I suppose. So he's opened up to me. He's had that whole, in-depth dialogue that goes along with him that says that where he just spills his guts open to you and explains his position in life, what he's going through. He's worried about his daughter. He doesn't understand if he is, or he doesn't know if he is doing the right thing with her, taking her on adventures with him.
Right.
But the galaxy, instead of putting her into a normal school like his grandfather wants her or him to do.
Yeah.
And so I've had the most experience with him, and because he is just, his general aesthetic kind of just called to me from the beginning, because I enjoy that kind of mentality with the way he carries himself. The space cowboy aesthetic.
Yeah, it's kind of a gentleman kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
That cowboy gentleman American, thing. But you're right. It's kind of a vibe.
Yeah, he just has, I wouldn't say swagger, because that's what Barrett has. It's more of a humbleness to him,
like a quiet confidence.
A what?
Like a quiet confidence, that sort of.
Yes.
Things are a little bit understated, but he feels like he's in control. And then he opens up, and then you realize, okay, maybe there's more going on. There's more turmoil under the surface than you're letting on to.
Oh yeah, but he just gives a solid slate exterior appearance, whereas I can kill you if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that unless you give me a reason to.
Yeah.
He's not looking for a fight, but he knows how to protect himself and the people he loves, and he also knows, he also has that sense of adventure about him, though. That's why he's in Constellation in the first place. He wants to keep exploring. That's his livelihood. He wants to live up to his great is it 3 or 4 greats grandfather's legacy of establishing Aquila City.
Right.
And he kind of feels like there's that family legacy hovering over him, which he has not quite reached yet.
Right.
He's probably never going to reach it, but he has to try his darndest to get there. And so that's what I enjoy about him, is that he has that drive and dedication, motivation. to really seem like a very standout gentleman. But at the same time, though, there's that deep underlying gorge, which you can't see at a distance, but as you get closer to it, though, it just reveals itself as a deadly chasm.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. A lot of people I've seen on the internet who talk about him seem to be either in one of two camps. There's the camp that Turbo talked about, the, oh my God, stop talking about your ex-wife. Oh my God, stop complaining about what to do with your kid. But some people see that from the other side and they go, well, he's such a caring father. That's so appealing to have a character in a game like this that is a caring father who's the kind of person that Sam is, but also, like, you can tell he's soft and sentimental on the inside, and they find that really appealing. Are you more in that side of that camp?
Yes, I am, because my parents have gone through a divorce, and so I can sympathize with that on a personal level, like more with his daughter, I suppose, than himself, though. But I also kind of do see in him the same way that my dad carries himself. And so that's kind of just that like familiar feeling that goes along with him that makes him such a that makes him such a appealing choice for me as a companion, though, because my dad and I basically do the same thing, not on a galactic scale, but on a state scale, though. Where
you guys aren't flying around the universe?
Okay. No, we're not traveling through the stars quite yet. No, we're just going through and we'll go cave exploring, quite literally, because I live in Missouri, and Missouri has the most caves of any state, or the second most caves of any state. And so we'll just go there, explore a cave, go fishing, hike the woods, do stuff like that. And so it kind of has that same feeling to it, whether he's doing with his daughter. And then he also has that more practical that I think that my daughter can learn a lot more. Like, he has that sense to him where he's not buying into that everyone's doing this, so I need to follow in their footsteps. Everyone learns at their own pace. They all have their own way of experiencing the world, or the way that they should experience the world. And his daughter, who is, I'm blanking on her name right now.
Oh, it is Cora. That's right. Cora,
yeah. His daughter, Cora, like, she is an adventurous type. She's extremely smart. She's a prodigy. You can describe her as that, who, in Sam's own words, is speaking at a level that he can never comprehend, right, or much less even like have the desire or drive to attain. And so it is more in her interest, I guess, to be exploring the universe with him and Constellation, rather than being stuck in an advanced students program.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's kind of neat how you can, like, you're tying some personal connections there, like you and your dad, going around, exploring caves in Missouri, because Missouri loves company. So there's that.
Yeah.
Dave, do you have any questions? We're just going to let that joke just go away.
We're getting serious here, Tom. Come on, man. What do you think? You think we tell jokes?
There's a tear rolling down his cheek, dude.
Right.
He's sentimental like Sam.
It's taken me a while, really, honestly, to warm up to a lot of the companions in the game, because a lot of the companions in this, let's say, like Fallout 4, like when you're talking about the number of people that like relate to, like, all of those people are like super caricatures. Like, all of these people are like, I'm the reincarnation of John Hancock, but also a ghoul.
Yeah, I'm a detective, but I'm also, it's like,
I'm a cyborg master of disguise. I will appear anywhere, and maybe a protagonist. Like, right. There's so much caricature, I think, that it was, at first it was like, oh man, I really miss that. And I do still miss that, like the caricature personalities. But this one, it seems like there's a lot more real life in there, where Sam has a lot of the same like thoughts that I do about like his, so like, and I think this is the same for a lot of people.
Is this a dad moment?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was about like, taking care of your daughter, like that kind of thing.
I mean, yeah, you could, but I'm more talking about hometowns and how he views it, because he starts out by saying, okay, I love my hometown. I think it's great, up until a point where he's like, I got to get out of here. I got to go do something else. I got to go, like, I can't be stuck here. I can't have my family legacy just be me doing this thing.
But right. This place has defined me. I need to define myself.
Right. And then him going on his journey, but then coming back to it, and then having, it's not necessarily a love-hate relationship. It's not that that extreme, but it's more of like how most people feel about their hometowns, of like you kind of have this middling approach of like, there's some really great things and like some traditions and stuff that I really love from my time there, but also there's issues, but nowhere else like kind of quite lives up to that. So like when you
and the issues
around,
to jump in, the issues wouldn't be so big if you didn't love it so much.
Right.
Like if you didn't love the place, those wouldn't be issues because you just wouldn't care.
Right. So when he goes and walks, like he's not like, I need to get out. I want to go to big city, daddy. I want to go see the Broadway play. Like he's not going to New Atlantis and saying, oh, this is great. He's like, no, this place sucks. There's too many rich people here. I hate it. I'm Adam Jensen. And he, but then when you go back to Aquila City, he like has fonder memories, but you can tell he's reserved about all of it. He's not like the poster boy for like the Freestar Collective. So I think what I think a lot of people are running into, and a lot of what you're coming up with, Nova, is like you relate a lot to like the experiences and like that sharedness that they have. And I think that's a lot easier with these characters as opposed to, I grew up in a child camp underneath a radioactive vault, and now I'm a mercenary and I want to kill people. Like it's a lot harder to relate to than some of these characters.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I have been falling through with, is that I was relating a lot to him in his situation.
Mm-hmm.
So Nova, I've got a question real quick to jump in here. When you're talking about Sam, are you seeing him for the character you're playing in the game? Are you seeing him as like a companion / a best friend kind of person, or a companion / potential romanceable character? Like where
drinking buddies and
are you more you're more drinking buddies, or are you more like drinking buddies and let's go, this sounds like fun, let's go do it this weekend kind of thing, where it's like, hey, you want to go fishing, or hey, want to go hunting, or let's go see what's over here, let's go see what the snake people are up to, maybe fight some of them. Sure, right. Let's go blow some spacers. Let's do it. Yeah,
that's the approach I've been taking more with him, because like I said, it feels, I see a lot of my dad in him, and I don't feel comfortable with romancing someone.
Sure.
Who kind of reminds me of my father.
Yeah, I get how that's weird. Yeah. Okay, yeah, totally makes sense. Any other thoughts before we move on?
Oh, wait, one other thing I did want to say about Samco is I think that a lot of his problems with Aquila does stem from his strained relationship with his father, and that if his father wasn't in the city or alive anymore, he'd probably feel a lot more comfortable there, because he is almost living in his shadow, just as he is a great however many times grandfather, and he doesn't want that burden upon his shoulder anymore.
Yeah,
that's a really good point. And thinking about that, and like when I think about like when I go to my hometown, like sometimes I like just take my wife and my daughter and we just go to lunch, just us somewhere in the whole town. And like small town, you go and you talk to people and maybe you start up a conversation, but like I did this over Thanksgiving holiday. If we went out to lunch, it was just us. We were talking to the couple, and I don't necessarily have the most country accent for the places that I'm going. So when I go there, they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm actually from here." It's like, "Oh, what do you mean?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Oh, do you know my parents?" And I say their names, and they're like, "Oh my God, yeah." And so it's like that, like. I feel like when I'm in my hometown, I'm not defined by myself. I'm defined by my parents and what they are, which I think is a lot of the trouble that Sam has when he goes to Aquila City.
Yeah, well, he also has the societal obligation that I need to go see my family, I guess. Yeah. But I don't really just want to see my family. Mm-hmm. Because if you remember, like the mission you first went on, he just wanted to get in and out, but then he discovered that his father took the documents, so he was begrudgingly going to his home, back to his homestead.
Right. And then the whole thing about spending time with his daughter and like the grandfather and the daughter, all that. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Cool perspectives. Thank you for sharing that. And we've got to move on to Commander Shepard, but first we got to go thank our patrons. So we're going to go do that. And then we're going to talk with Commander Shepard about his thoughts on the companion. So don't go anywhere. All right, here we are in the middle of the show. This is where we get to thank our patrons. Thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Starfield Lorecast. You can go check out all sorts of different stuff you can get for supporting the show. Ad-free episodes, stickers, t-shirts, custom designs that only go to our patrons. So that's how you can get them and how you can keep this show going and support what Dave and I are doing together. Also, we have our Space Lords who get shout-outs every week, including Commander Marcus Shepard, who's with us, and Worst Action Hero. Thank you for your support. Shout-outs every week for you, and thank you to all of our patrons for your support. Also, we have some new reviews that came in on Apple Podcasts. Just a reminder, if you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it out on a future episode of the show. You don't even need to listen on Apple. You just have to have an Apple account, and those reviews go all over the place, so they're very helpful. This one comes from Dirty Dan and the Kids. Wonderful name, from the United States. He writes, best in the biz, best Starfield lorecast out there. I mean, technically we're the only Starfield lorecast out there, so we're
no, Tom,
also the worst.
That compliment, run with it.
Okay, thank you. There you go. Did I do a good job? But genuinely, thank you for leaving the review, and I'm just playing with the wording, but thank you. We really do appreciate it. And then there's one from Brando Commando, also an awesome name, from the US, who writes, robots, 5 stars, had a baby recently and haven't had time to play video games. Robots and the Robots Radio Network has filled my itch for wanting to play. Thank you, Tom. Well, you're very welcome, Brando Commando. I'm glad that
congratulations on the baby.
You're enjoying it, yeah, and congratulations on the baby. Take good care of that little tyke, that little sack of potatoes, or whatever you call them. Sometimes babies go through phases where they look like a potato, and then they look like a frog, and then they look like a monkey. I don't know. If you're a parent, you know. But thank you for leaving the 5-star reviews. And that's going to do it for the middle of the show. Let's move on with the rest of the conversation about the companions. Here we go. Commander Shepard, you are up. What's your perspective on the companions? Who are you bringing around with you? Who's your favorite to hang out with? What's going on?
Well, first off, I'd like to say I'm really appreciative that I got to go last, because I like to hear what everybody else's opinions on who they spent time with, especially on with Sam Coe specifically. He's actually the companion that I've spent the least amount of time with, and it's not because of any dislike for him or anything. It was just my chance to spend more time with him got kind of ruined whenever the hunter decided to show up. And
so he's the one who died.
The unfortunate. Yes, he died for me. I was able to. It was as soon as I met Sam Coe, I met his daughter. They joined me on my ship. You say, I think, 1 or 2 nice things about them that they like, and Sam immediately gets you with his personal quest. And I followed that along. I got a good taste of what his story is, where he came from. I also got that cowboy swagger that you guys were talking about, which, like Nova, I actually grew up in Missouri, in like a small town.
Wow.
And I was very around that. I kind of grew up kind of a country kid myself. So I very much recognize those vibes from him, which I did enjoy. I also very much understand and resonate with him when it came to the tradition part of that kind of comes with that small town faith and family sort of style of living. There's that pressure. You have to live up to the family name. You're a representative of a legacy, pretty much, and that comes very heavy with that type of upbringing and background. So I did get a good taste of him, but as soon as I completed that quest, I believe I completed the quest where you go and steal stuff from the junker dude, and then immediately you get hit with you have to choose one or the other. And it was such a hard choice. I didn't know the full repercussions. I had to go either one or the other. And I was just like, there's more people that I want to spend time with over there. So I had to make that ultimate decision. It really sucked. So I haven't got to spend as much time with him because I haven't gone into New Game Plus yet. I'm still trying to finish up.
Sure.
But,
sure.
But I did enjoy listening to everybody talk about Sam Coe. It definitely has me motivated to give him a more
complete
complete playthrough. Yeah. So, but yeah, out of all the characters that I've spent the most time with, it'd have to be with Andreja.
Okay.
I wanted to spend more time with Sarah Morgan, but I got really intrigued by Andreja's mysterious nature, and you could kind of tell that she was like very much hiding stuff. And that I could pick up on that. That mystery just drew me in, so I full on followed that all the way through. I didn't end up romancing her, and I got a lot more of her backstory. I still feel like there's more to her that I haven't gotten to yet, but I think I might actually have fully explored everything she has to offer.
Okay,
so I do like her as a companion. She's pretty good. I am hoping that in the future, if we end up getting more House of Ruin stuff, there'll be more kind of tied in with her too. So
yeah, I agree. I think we probably will. I think any expansion we get will add a little bit to some of the characters, a few extra voice lines here and there, maybe an extra little something that shows up that they respond to when they're with you, like that kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And if it's going to be House of Irun, then she makes a lot of sense for being somebody that you would want to bring with you to go experience that and get her perspective on everything. So yeah, I agree. All right. So you said you didn't romance her, though. Have you romanced anybody?
I did actually romance Andreja. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And she has her very unique way of going through the commitment stage, which I thought was a very nice. It's a nice perspective. It's a nice twist that, like, when you think about like the traditions of like humanity in general, marriage being one of the oldest. Whenever it comes to things like sci-fi, how long those traditions actually kind of keep up and how valuable people still see those sort of things kind of changes and varies, and sometimes it completely dwindles out of existence depending on the type of people or their
culture, their
culture,
habits.
But also their how much of the past that they are revealed to or they observe. So if you don't keep up with the histories, then there's no way for those traditions to continue. Right. So for something like Andreja, who lived in a more solitude, more of a closed off sort of upbringing, she obviously didn't have that sort of upbringing or that idea that kind of built up that the tradition to think that she had to kind of follow up with that. So that was a really cool thing that she brought to the story. So
yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. Dave, you have any questions?
Yeah, I see what you're saying about like how sci-fi Andreja is. She's probably the most interesting character of like you immediately meet her and she's in a mysterious gunfight that she won't talk about. And you're like, okay, I would like to know more, please.
Yeah. And she comes across pretty cold at first, which is a red flag. It's like, okay, what's going on there?
And so I think that I'm kind of in the same boat as you is that was my like, oh, I want to like, that's interesting to me. That's something I want to go follow. And so that I think that was the first like companion I went after was just like learning stuff and just like because you got to spend time with them and do all the diplomacy. What's that? There's a skill, affection. I don't know. You got to do all that stuff with them. But Andrea was the one that I spent all that time with. But I thought that it was interesting to learn that Constellation kind of accepts her, but she doesn't know her place quite yet of what that means. And it's like all in relation to a lot of these original pieces of lore that come with the game. So I'm kind of right there with you as far as like, oh, that's interesting to me. I want to kind of go track that down.
Yeah, I found her to be particularly interesting. Like I hung out with each of the companions a little bit, like Sarah, Barrett, Sam a little bit, and then ran into her, and then immediately was like same kind of, I think Shepard, you and I probably had the same kind of feeling of like, she's mysterious, what's going on with that? And so I was like, all right, you're coming with me. But also the fact that like, yeah, Sam comes across like a cowboy, like he can hold his own, but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's just going to run into place and blast everybody. Like he would really need some good reasons to do that. Barrett also can hold his own, also doesn't seem like the kind of guy who just would run into a place and blast a bunch of fools, unless he really needed to. Sarah, same kind of thing. But Andrasia, I was like, all right, if I'm going to go clear out this mining station of all of these spacers and I'm going to shoot everybody in the head in order to get like a bounty, she seems kind of like the person who's going to be like coolest with that. So I was like, all right, you're coming with me. And then that became the character I was kind of my go-to character. And then she also died. So that was tragic because I spent the most time with her and then she died. So yeah, it's a cruel twist, but I think it's pretty smart because
I think that really fits her character though too, because like you were talking about, she's a very brutal, she's a very powerful female character, and like it's very fitting that she be the one to pass because she would be the one to hold the front, giving everybody else the chance to get out while the hunter is just brutally like trying to murder everybody. So that I feel like that really adds to her character, and I'm envious that ended that way for you. So
it was tragic. I was like, oh crap! I was like, she was the one I liked the most, and especially because
there's beauty and tragedy. Yeah, so it's it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's happened to me in a few different games. Like the character I romanced in Mass Effect 2 was also the one who died of everybody, the only one that died. I've gone through that a few times in video games, and I'm like, oh, why again? I
had the opposite effect when it came to this because I hadn't looked up anything about the game, so didn't know about this dying companion situation, and so I had just been running with Sarah, and I was like, I'll figure that out later. We'll figure it all out later. That's fine. And I was getting to the point I was like, man, I'm really tired of Sarah. Oh, I'm really tired of it.
So you were glad when she died?
And then they were like, oh, Sarah's in the space station. She's going to die. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a bummer. Oh,
that's all right. That's fine. And then I ended up going with the other companions, but all of the quests, like the secondary quests, when you get into like their full missions, I think give a lot to that character. Like Sarah, I felt kind of bad because I was like, oh, like Sarah is like a military person that's trying to conform to civilian life and everything is like in the military steeped in rules and tradition. Like there's a reason you wear your uniform a certain way. Like there's like a million different rules and reasons that you do them. And so she's like, it's like, oh, she's so by the book. And it's like, well, yeah, she was like a career military person and then has this like survivors guild for getting like blown up and stranded on this island, leaving these people there. Like, so, but if you don't go into that and you just like have her along, you're like, man, this lady's tiresome. I'm out here trying to pirate some people. I'm out here trying to blow some stuff up, make some like get some credits, like do some wacky stuff here. And she's not necessarily down for that wackiness, but Andrasia seems like the one that's the most down for the wackiness.
Right. Yeah. Just don't get too personal too quick. But outside of that, yeah. Okay. We'll blast some fools. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So
she still has a strong opinion about that, but she is just a little more lax when it comes to the more brutal choices.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're all pretty straight when it comes down to it, but she's a little bit more out there now. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of the episode, but I have to ask you, and this is open for anybody to respond, so feel free to unmute and respond. What about the adoring fan? This is another companion we haven't talked about, not necessarily part of Constellation. Are any of you taking the adoring fan around? Nova?
Space him.
He's in my ship. He's on my ship.
How do you feel?
He often comments when I land the ship, and it's like, wow, you did a great job doing that. And I think that's just like Todd Howard laughing at me because I really want to land the ship by myself. And the Adoring fan's like, wow, you did such a good job doing that. I'm like, I didn't do anything.
I hit a freaking button. I hit a button. I held down a button.
Anything.
It was autopilot.
Yeah, right. So Turbo, he's on your ship. Do you ever take him with you anywhere?
I had him with me as soon as I could unequip Sarah. I took him a while until I eventually got Barrett back on my ship. I had him follow me for a little bit, and I just loved his little dialogue.
Oh, I think he's hilarious. I can see why people would find him annoying, but the fact that he's just like so into everything you're doing, like so just like, but also the way that
you're so great. 50 credits, please.
Right. Right. Yeah. But the way you were talking about how you were like changing people's outfits, like I changed Andreja's outfit when I found some really cool badass looking like leather stuff. And I was like, she looks like she could wear that. That sounds cool. But then, was the adoring fan. I think I've changed his outfit like 4 or 5 times at this point. Every time I find a more ridiculous thing to wear, I make him wear it, and then he follows me around in whatever the most ridiculous outfit I've found so far is.
That's pretty funny.
So that's my perspective. Shepard, you're not an adoring fan kind of person?
I did not pick up that trait, unfortunately. I always figured it would be something of a secondary playthrough to pick that up, just because like I knew about the adoring fan from Oblivion, so yeah. I was just like, I want to try something new. I really want to explore the game with a little more depth. The adoring fan, although I'm sure he had much to add to the game, it was more of a it was a sacrifice that I was willing to make. So
yeah, I get it. Dave, what about you?
I mean, the adoring fan, as I said, comes down from the ship. You know, he just congratulates me. I don't really take him anywhere.
You don't take him?
I don't really dress him up as anything, but he just comes and tells me how great I am.
I think it's hilarious when he's wearing a weird outfit and you take him on a mission where there's a lot of having to kill people, and then you give him like the second best gun that you have, and then he just mows down fools, and I'm just like, I'm so proud of you, my little friend.
He's also really great to take on like a murder spree, like if you want to go do some old fashioned killing,
because he's totally fine with it. He's totally cool with it.
He is the evil companion. Like if you want an evil companion, he's probably the one to do it. That he is just like blind subservience to you, no matter what.
So the difference between you and Tom, Dave, is that you treat the adoring companion like a house pet, and Tom just treats him as a best friend, basically.
I treat him. Okay, so he's not really. Okay, so you know when you were in high school and like you had your like group of friends. I don't know if anybody. I don't know if everyone.
Tom's a bully.
I don't know if anyone can identify with this, but like you've got a group of friends, and there's like the core group of friends, but then there's like that other kid who just shows up and hangs out with you, even though nobody invited them ever. Like, you ever go through that? And so you're nice to them, but everyone's like, who invited them? Okay, I guess they're hanging out with us. That's cool. That's who the adoring fan is like, they're the ones who invite themselves to the party. And so you're like, well, if you're going to be here anyway, well, we're all wearing these crazy outfits, so you're going to have to wear a crazy outfit also.
But the thing about the adoring fan is he doesn't crack. Like you try to be like, oh, do you really think, are you really a fan of me? Like for real though? And he's going to be like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I love you. You're the freaking best. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Or like a little brother. Neko in chat is talking about little brothers. Yeah. Like a little brother who just like tags along, even though you and the rest of your friends are like, well, mom said we got to be nice to him. You know, like that kind of thing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I get from him.
Yep. That's me, the little brother.
You're like, I went there. I was me.
I was treated.
Yeah, I was the older brother, so I guess I probably was guilty. I mean, I was nice to my younger brother. Like, we got along pretty well. But, yeah, that's a thing. All right. Well, we're getting close to the end of the show. Any other thoughts? Any other last-minute thoughts about any of these companions? Shepard?
I actually had just a really quick question.
Fetch quests.
I wanted to know if there was any character or any companion that's not a part of Constellation that anybody really enjoyed. Like there's a couple that you can hire in bars and stuff like that. They actually have like little tidbits of lore. If there was any that anybody else very much enjoyed.
Have you guys tried out other people?
Matthias, or however you say his name. He's one of the Crimson Raiders. If you're a big old bad guy, but also a real sweetheart. Like if you treated the Crimson Raiders like it's Fast and Furious, so like we're all gonna go to the barbecue and hang out, and we're family and we love each other, but we're also gonna blow up some stuff. Then at one point you get Matthias as a companion, and I've enjoyed having him along to get up to all of my nefarious deeds. I have like a crew that's like, all right, guys, let's go be good. And then I have another crew that's like, all right, guys, you ready to get into some shit? Let's do it.
Nice. I haven't really branched out from the core ones. I also haven't used Vasco much. Have you guys used Vasco much?
Well, that's in your name, Tom. Come on, man.
I know, right? You would think.
Yeah, your fellow brethren. Yeah, Vasco's sassy. I like Vasco. It's really unfortunate we don't get more of a background for him. A side mission of some sort would really be really nice, just to kind of see what his origin came from. Or like, obviously he gets some of his sass because Barrett was kind of his savior, his programmer. But like, I'm curious to see if any of that sass came from like a change in his programming from before that. Maybe he just kind of stuck out, and that's why like it was 2 stars destined to collide with Barrett finding him. So
I feel like that's one area that's kind of unfinished, because he feels like Star Trek's Data, like that's what he feels like for the group, like, and just the amount of like little humor he brings about. Like I feel like that if they put like there's a little more like time into that, I think that you could probably get to something similar.
Yeah, that robot trying to understand human emotions thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's very Star Trek. Yeah, but otherwise I haven't used Vasco much. He's just part of it is okay. Maybe this is a weird complaint. If it's even really a complaint, might be too strong. He's just really kind of bigger than I expected. I don't know that matters that much, but like he's kind of.
Are you uncomfortable around tall people, Tom?
He's just kind of wide, like all the time. Like I'll have him on my ship, and all the time, Turbo left. Bye, Turbo. All the time, I'm like, I don't know, like trying to get around
he's got
him.
Those broad shoulders that are they can be very intimidating.
Right, he's just kind of bigger than he needs to be. I don't know. I think maybe when I was looking at the art like early on, when we were like dreaming about like what this game would be like, I kind of. In my mind, he wasn't as big. Like he was a little bit smaller. He was kind of like this. I don't know, like the top of his
astromech size.
Yeah, like the top of like R2D2 size. You know, like that makes sense.
Sound like somebody that bought something off of Amazon that's really disappointed and like you're like, oh, online on the pictures it looked.
In the picture, there's
good,
clearly 12 children playing in this kiddie pool, but only 2 actually fit in it when I blow it up. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, that was, I don't know. That's not really a problem. It's just every time I don't bring him with me usually. But if he's on my ship or if he's at Constellation when I get back there and I walk past him, I'm just like, geez, dude, why are you so big? Like, it always just hits me as weird.
He is rather abnormally sized considering he's supposed to be like one of the primary companions you keep on your ship, because he like starts off as your first assigned to your ship companion.
Yeah.
He does not fit in most corridors. He just is not very optimally sized. So no. I'm wondering if there's that modular functionality where he can like shrink in size or something like that. Or at least they need to have the decency to slap a wide load sticker on his backside.
Wide load.
That would be yeah, that's what we need is some mods with like stickers on him. They're like wide load sticker or like, you know, like rock and roll concert stickers.
The modder is listening. She should definitely get on that. She loves doing stuff like that. She's doing like coffee mugs and stuff. So I'm sure she could get on a funny sticker like that.
That would be great. Also, one of the default options in the console command section is usually a size option. So you could take like a character and reduce them by a certain percentage or increase their size. So I guess I could just make him smaller if I wanted to.
Why do that though when you can treat him like a kayak and just strap onto the roof with a bungee cord?
Yeah, or why can't you just like sit on him and let him walk you around?
He's your throne.
I mean, he's a robot, right? He can carry a lot of weight.
Mad Max character was from Thunderdome. It's like the little mini-me that sits on the back of the guy. Yeah, that's what you want. So you're okay with tall people if you can ride on them. That's pretty much what you're telling me.
That's my mantra.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah, I'm okay with tall people as long as I can ride on them. Every time I meet a tall person, I'm like, up. I put my hands up like a little kid, and I'm like, up, please. Hold you. And they're like, what? Yeah. So on that note, I feel like we've come to the end of our show. This has been fun. Turbo had to leave. He wasn't feeling so good. Turbo, thank you for being here. I'm glad that you were able to join us, at least for a little bit that you were. I hope you feel better. Nova, you got anything going on you want to share before we head out?
I have a YouTube channel that I post mostly Fallout stuff to right now. Eventually, I will be doing Halo and Call of Duty zombie stuff for, but it is Supernova capital S capital N, 0, capital V, capital A. Look for the golden retriever icon. I've been trying to render a video all gosh darn day, but it keeps crashing my Vegas Pro. I have no idea why. So I'm going to be bug searching all night and seeing if when I get home from this tormentous place, I'm going to be bug searching all night and seeing what's causing that video not to be able to render. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Check your filters and then try and render like portions of it. Try and render like half and half, and then try to render those two halves in a separate file together into one file. Like there's other ways you can play with that, try to get around it. But good luck.
I'll give that a try. Yeah, thank you. I've been working this video for like a month now, and now finally have it done. I'm like,
thank you, technology. Yeah, that's the worst when you put a lot of work in something and like you forget to save it or whatever, and something just doesn't work right. Well, good luck with that. Yeah, go check out Supernova's channel. Thanks for joining us, Nova. And then Shepard, you got anything else going on? No.
Nothing over here. Just I'm in and out on the Discord, Commander Marcus Shepard. Other than that, I'm scrolling through Reddit. I'm sure maybe there's some fans of the Lorecast who maybe pop up on there that like to throw up ship builds and stuff like that. I'm always looking for super interesting ones. Feel free to post those in the Discord too. I love seeing everybody's designs. So that's it.
Yeah, it's amazing how that continues to evolve. Like the designs people were coming out with within the first few weeks were amazing, but even now, like I'm seeing sometimes people post stuff and I'm just like, holy crap, look at that. So yeah, some really cool creative stuff out there for sure. Well, thanks for joining us, Shepard. And then Dave, you got anything going on?
I got rad rolls, and I've decided on the Patreon chat days, I'm going to do something very different, and I'm going to actually promote other work that our rad rolls people do, because one of my guys that I work on rad rolls with is a comic book a comic book writer, and has done several different comic books that you can get online. His name is Michael Tanner. You can find a lot of his comic books through his Michael Tanner website. You just Google Michael Tanner. It'll come up with the comic book results. The one I would recommend is Junior Braves of the Apocalypse, which is effectively Boy Scouts in a post-apocalyptic world. He's a big fan of Fallout. So that story and like the whole setting and everything that he's created for that's kind of has that same kind of, it's post-apocalyptic, but it's also kind of funny. And if you liked like Pioneer Scouts humor that you saw in like Fallout 76, it's kind of in that same ballpark. So go check it out. Michael Tanner Comics. You can Google search it. I probably should have a link, but that's what it is.
That's cool. Yeah, go check that out if you're into it. And of course, you can check out my other shows and all the other shows at robotsradio.net. If you're into other Bethesda games, I've got the Fallout Lorecast, the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. I've also have the Lord of the Rings Lorecast and the Mass Effect Lorecast and a bunch of other shows. There's shows that I used to host that now other hosts are doing. There's shows that other hosts are just have always been doing. Lots of awesome content. robotsradio.net. And thank you for joining us. Dave and I will be joining you again next week for a regular episode. We've got more lore to talk about. There's a lot of stuff that we just have not even covered yet. So
TikTok, it's lore time.
Get ready for lore time. It's coming. All right, we'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you for being here. See you later.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. We hope that you enjoyed this show.
Did you know that parodies are copyright protected?
Tell a friend and review
on iTunes
or other services. Dave and Tom excited for Starfield. Let's all speculate and wear no shoes.
Hey, why aren't we wearing any shoes?
Because shoes rhymes with iTunes, and that's the best I could think of.